If you're a regular listener, you'll know I'm a music buff. I love to feature new and aspiring artists in this show. This week, I was lucky enough to speak to a fast-rising star who is the daughter of a musical legend. Jessie Furay Lynch is the daughter of Richie Furay, an extraordinarily talented singer-songwriter who was in the bands Buffalo Springfield, Poco, the Souther Hillman Furay Band, and his own Richie Furay Band. He's going to be a guest on a future show, but this week I spoke to his daughter Jessie about making her first album and the advice she gives to other ambitious artists. Let's take a listen. Jessie, thanks for being on the show today.
Oh, thank you, Alan, so much for having me. I'm very excited and honored.
No, I'm sure you're very excited because you've just got your first album released. So tell me a bit about that. How did that come about?
I do, yeah. Well, to be honest with you, it was a long time in coming. We actually started this about 6 years ago.
Oh, really?
But I grew up singing. I grew up singing in the church with my dad. And my dad is Richie Furay of Poco, Buffalo Springfield. And, so I grew up singing in the church, and then I actually went to school after high school. I went to college to study musical theater. And so I knew I wanted to sing somehow, but I just wasn't quite sure, what was going to really fit for me, be a good fit. And I came back home after college, and, I was just kind of singing the musical theater thing. I did it for a while, but it didn't really work out that well for me. And my dad and my husband were just really encouraging towards my singing, and they suggested, let's go out to Nashville, record some tracks, and see what happens. And so with the support and encouragement of them, we booked the trip, booked musicians, and decided to start the journey on a 6-year journey on making my first solo album. So that's kind of how it came about.
So this is actually a product of 6 years. So are the recordings on the album, are they all done fairly recently, or are they done over a long period?
It's kind of a mix of both, because the tracks, I would say about 6 tracks were done. The music tracks were done about 6 years ago. And then when I came back, I found out I was pregnant with my first daughter. I have 3 girls, and so that's kind of why it's been taking about 6 years, because in the midst of that, I've had 3 babies. But so the music tracks of 6 of those were recorded in Nashville about 6 years ago. But then throughout the 6 years, we've kind of gone into the studio, tweaked some things, did some vocals, and then I've also added 3 other songs that were recorded within those 6 years. So I would definitely say, a lot of it was recorded a while back, but we've polished it and tweaked it and basically finished producing it within the last year, thanks to a great friend of mine, Mike Gallivan, and my father, Richie Furay.
Well, I've been in touch with Mike, and he's told me all about it. So that, and I must say, your voice is exactly the same, whether it was 6 years ago or now. You sound absolutely great on the album. So, and
thank you.
You're singing 3 of your father's songs on there, aren't you? How did that feel, doing some of his songs?
Oh, you know what? It was awesome. I mean, it was super fun. Satisfied and Baby Why, I actually do on the road when we go out. Satisfied's been a while, but that was the first song that I actually did live when we would go out in the RFD. And then Baby Why was never actually recorded before, and so I'm pretty proud that I have it on my album, because there's no other recording of Baby Why.
Oh, well, you mean, so your father's never recorded it?
No, he never recorded it. No, he had it stashed away, in his archive of music that, some stuff that he's never recorded, and he pulled that out and said, would you like to sing it and give it a shot? And I said, of course, yeah. So I'm very honored that he allowed me to record that.
That's fantastic, Jessie. So, I mean, you've been singing with him, haven't you? You've been singing in his band for a while. Are you planning to go out on the road yourself with a band?
I would love to go out. I think I'm going to try within the next couple of years to try to kind of see what it feels like to be like the lead, basically, in a solo act. Because I'm usually just backup singing with my dad in the RFD, which I'm very comfortable with. So being the front person is definitely a little bit of a different experience. But this year, I've been presented with a few opportunities, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens and growing as, a lead, basically.
Absolutely. Well, if you ever tour the UK and Europe, do let me know, because it would be great.
Oh my goodness!
Bring a bunch of people to come and see you. That'd be fantastic. So, is this? Do you have plans to sort of keep recording? Do you think this will be the first of several albums, or what?
I would love that. I actually would love to try to do some songwriting with my husband or my dad. Or some other friends. I'd like to sit down and kind of dabble in that, because my first album, I was not able to, come out with any songs that I've written, and I would like to really pursue that a little bit more. So I hope that this is not my only album that I release.
Well, I hope not too. It's so good. So, lastly, Jessie, if you were giving advice to somebody else who was starting out in the business and they thought, it's going to take me 6 years to make an album or something, what sort of advice would you give to somebody who's now starting out?
Just timing can be tricky sometimes, but don't give up. And, who cares if it takes 6 years? It's your life, and, you have to be happy with the choices that you make from day to day. And I'm thrilled with, the 6 year span that we have. I've got 3 beautiful daughters to show for that. And I would never take that away for, 3 albums, rather.
No,
I'm very happy with 1 album and 3 babies. So,
yeah, that sounds absolutely perfect. And if people want to find out more about you, Jessie, if they want to sort of find out more about the album and they want to visit, have you got a website? Where would they go to find out more?
I have a Reverb Nation page,
yeah.
Jessie Furay, and you can also look me up on Facebook as well. So those 2 places are great resources for info on me. And you can also buy my music on my dad's website, richiefuray.com, and CD Baby, and iTunes.
And iTunes too, which is where I picked it up the other day. So absolutely brilliant. So that's brilliant, Jessie. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Alan. You take care.